minus y. Two numbers differ means their difference means their subtraction is 3. So x minus y is equal to 3. So we say that let n be the numerator and d be the denominator. Therefore, fraction is equal to n upon d. Now, then the first sentence for the first condition, by 6, numerator becomes n minus 6, denominator becomes d minus 6. Hello students, this is Sujata Gamre coming with class 10 NCERT SSC Math with Sujata ji. Welcome students in the practice set 1.5, and this practice set is for the chapter 1 pair of linear equations into variable. So let us start the examples in the practice set 1.5. Question first, the two numbers differ by 3. The sum of twice the smaller number and thrice the greater number is 19. Find the numbers. Now here students, these are of the word problem, and we are going to solve these word problems with the linear equations of two variables. So we have to get the two equations as per the given condition in the examples. So here that we have to find out the numbers. And there are the two numbers. So here I say that, and here say there in the example there mentioned the smaller number and the greater number. So here our assumption is that let x be the greater number and y be the smaller number. Then here students, there is a first condition in this example. So I write by the given first condition. That is, two numbers differ by 3. Two numbers, that is y and x. The greatest is x. So x minus y. Two numbers differ means their difference means their subtraction is 3. So x minus y is equal to 3. So I call it as the first one equation. Then next one here, by the given second condition. So here second sentence is for the second condition. So here the sum of twice the smaller number. Sum means addition. Addition puts sum twice the smaller number. Twice the smaller number. So 2y. And thrice the greater number. Okay. Sum of twice the smaller number and thrice the greater number is 19. Is 19 means is equal to 19. So now here student, this is the second equation by the second given condition as per the example. So now here we know that how can we solve these two equations, okay, by elimination method, substitution method, Cramer's rule, or the here graphical method. So now here students, I prefer here that substitution method. Okay, so I first write down x minus y is equal to 3. Therefore x is equal to y plus 3. X is equal to y plus 3. So I call it as the third one equation because I get the value of x from the equation 1. So I name it as the new equation. There is a formation of new equation and call it as the third equation. Then here students, the next one is that put this value in equation 2. So the equation 2 is 2y plus 3x is equal to 90. Therefore 2y plus 3 multiply y plus 3 is equal to 90. Then next step is that 2y plus 3y plus 9, 3 3s are 9, is equal to 90. Therefore 2y plus 3y 5y plus 9 is equal to 90. Therefore 5y is equal to 19 minus 9. Therefore 5y is equal to 10. Y is equal to 10 upon 5. Therefore y is equal to 5 to 10. So y is equal to 2. Then next one part is that put this value of y, put this value in equation 3. So the third equation is that x is equal to y plus 3. Therefore x is equal to 2 plus 3. Therefore x is equal to 5. Then here, see here we have the values of x and y, and that is our consideration part, assumption part. So x means the greater number and y means the smaller number. So here finally we say that therefore the greater number is equal to 5 and smaller number is equal to 2. So 2 and 5 are the two numbers. Then next one example, students. See the next one example. Complete the following. So now here, see first. This is the figure of rectangle, and here in between that write down I am a rectangle. The length of this rectangle is 2x plus y plus 8, and here this opposite side will be 4x minus y. Then this breadth is equal to 2y and this breadth is equal to x plus 4. And we have to say that find the values of x and y. Okay? And here find my perimeter and area. Find my perimeter. My means this what says by the rectangle. Okay? So we have to calculate the perimeter and area of rectangle. So here students, we have to first write down that the property of the rectangle. So I say here by the property of rectangle. Opposite sides are congruent. Therefore, 2x plus y plus 8 is equal to 4x minus y. So this is the first equation that we get from the property of rectangle, and the second one is that 2y is equal to x plus 4. Okay, so this is the second equation. So we call it as the second one, but because I have to solve this equation in standard form, okay, convert into a standard form. So here I write that 2x minus 4x plus y is equal to minus 8. Therefore 2x minus 4x minus 2x plus y plus 2y is equal to minus 8. So this is the first equation, okay, simplest form. It is the simplest form of the equation, and so we call it as first equation, and this one as the second one equation. This is the second condition. Now here students, we have to find out the value of x and y. So that means we have to solve these two equations. So now here we can use the substitution process here, substitution method, because here the value of 2y is given. 2y is equal to x plus 4. So we can substitute the value of 2y here also. Okay. So here we say that here 2y is equal to x plus 4. Put this value in equation 1. Therefore equation 1, I write down equation 1 minus 2x plus 2y is equal to minus 8. And therefore that we know that the 2y, so here minus 2x plus 2y is equal to x plus 4. So I write down x plus 4 there at the place of 2y. So here minus 2x plus x plus 4 is equal to minus 8. So here minus x plus 4 is equal to minus 8. Therefore minus x is equal to minus 8 minus 4. So minus x is equal to minus 12. So x is equal to 12. Removing the negative sign on both the sides. So x is equal to 12. So now here, then here the next part is that put this value in equation 2. Therefore 2y is equal to, here I write down the equation 2 as it is. So 2y is equal to here 12 plus 4. So 2y is equal to 16. Y is equal to 16 upon 2. Therefore y is equal to 2 8 are 16. So y is equal to 8. Then here last one we have to find out. So first process is completed, find the values of x and y. Okay, we have the value of x and y here. We have to find out the length and breadth here. So L is equal to 4x minus y. 4x minus y. So length is equal to 4 multiply 12 minus 8. Therefore L is equal to 48 minus 8. So length is equal to 40. Now the breadth is equal to 2y. So breadth is equal to 2 multiply 8. So breadth is equal to 16. So now here students, the perimeter, we have to find out the perimeter. So perimeter is equal to 2 into length plus breadth. So here 2, length is 40 plus breadth 16. So here 2 multiply 56. Therefore here 112 units. Okay, perimeter is equal to 112 units. Now the next one, that is we have also find out area. So here we say area is equal to length into breadth is equal to 40 multiply 16 is equal to 640 units. Square units. Okay, square units. Area is equal to 640 units. So such a way we can find out the perimeter and area of the rectangle. Third example, the sum of father's age and twice the age of his son is 70. If we double the age of the father and add it to the age of his son, the sum is 95. Find their present ages. Now here the last part is that we have to find the ages. So find the ages means we have to find the age of father and his son. So first there is an assumption part, and that assumption part is for the father's age and his son. So I write down that let x be the age of father and y be the age of his son. Then the first sentence for the first condition. So the first condition is the sum of father's age and twice the age of his son is 70. So first I write down here by the first condition. The sum of father's age. So father age x and twice the age of his son. Twice means multiple of 2. So 2, 1. Each means is equal to 70. So now this is the first equation for the first condition. Then next one, second sentence means second condition. If we double the age of the father and add it to the age of his son, the sum is 95. So I say here by the second condition, we double the age of the father. Double the age means 2x and add it to the age of his son, to the age of his son. So 2x plus 1 is 95. And then we call it as the second one equation. Now we have to solve these two equations by any method. So here I apply the elimination method. I eliminate x. Okay, I have to eliminate x. So here I write down the first equation as it is. X plus 2y is equal to 70 multiplying both the sides by 2. Therefore, equation becomes 2 multiply x plus 2 multiply 2y is equal to 2 multiply 70. Therefore, 2x plus 4y is equal to 140. So this is the new equation. So call it as the third one equation. Then next one is that here we have the second and third equation. So observe carefully the 2x and 2x. Okay, in these equations 2x is similar. So here I say that subtracting equations 2 and 3. So 2x plus y is equal to 95 plus third one equation 2x plus 4y is equal to 140. Then here subtracting, so here write down minus and changing the sign here. So minus. So 2x minus 0 plus 1 minus 4. So minus 3y is equal to, so here 140 minus 95 and so here 5. So 35. Okay, not 35 here, 45 students. Okay, 45. So here minus 45. So minus 3y is equal to minus 45. So now cancelling out the negative sign. 3y is equal to 45. So y is equal to 45 upon 3. Y is equal to 50. Therefore y is equal to 50. Then the next step is that put this value in equation 1. Put this value in equation 1. So equation 1 is x plus 2y is equal to 70. So x plus 2 multiply 15 is equal to 70. Then next step will be x plus 30 is equal to 70. Therefore x is equal to 70 minus 30. Therefore x is equal to 40. So now we have the assumption value x and y. So finally we write down the answer. Here we say therefore present age of father is equal to 40. years and present age of his son is equal to 15 years. So this is our final answer. Example 4. The denominator of a fraction is 4, more than twice its numerator. Denominator becomes 12 times the numerator if both the numerator and denominator are reduced by 6. Find the fraction. Now here students, we have to find the fraction. There are the two sentences, mean there are the two conditions. So first we write the fraction. Here fraction is equal to numerator upon denominator. Okay, on denominator. So now here students, we say that let n be the numerator and d be the denominator. Therefore, fraction is equal to n upon d. Now here, as per the first condition, the denominator of a fraction. So I write down here that the first condition, by the first condition, denominator of a fraction is equal to 4 more means plus 4, then twice its numerator, the multiple of numerator 2n. So d is equal to 2n plus 4. This is the first equation from the first condition. Then the next one condition is that denominator becomes 12 times the numerator here. So here first we say that by the second condition, denominator means d becomes 12 times the numerator, means 12 numerator. Okay, but here both the numerator and denominator are reduced by 6. So by the second condition, by reducing the numerator by 6, numerator becomes n minus 6, denominator becomes d minus 6. Then we apply the condition, second condition, that is denominator becomes 12 times the numerator. So 12 times the numerator, multiple of 12. Okay. So now here first we simplify these equations. D minus 6 is equal to 12n minus 72. 12 6 are 72. So d minus 12n is equal to minus 72 plus 6. So d minus, so here yes, d minus 12n is equal to minus 66. So find it as the second one equation. So now here we have the first and second equation. So solve it by any method. So I decide to solve it by substitution method because we have the value of d of the first equation. So here I say that put the value of d in equation 2. Put the value of d in equation 2. Therefore, at the place of d, I write 2n plus 4. So first I write down the second equation, d minus 12n is equal to minus 66. Therefore, 2n plus 4, d means d is equal to 2n plus 4 minus 12n is equal to minus 66. Therefore, 2n plus 4 minus 12n is equal to minus 66. 2n minus 10n, so here minus 10n is equal to minus 66 minus 4. Okay? Minus 66 minus 4. So minus 10n is equal to minus 70. So now cancellation of negative sign. So 10n is equal to 70. So n is equal to 70 upon 10. Therefore n is equal to 10 sevens are 70. Okay. Then the next is that put this value in equation 1. So here I say that put this value in equation 1. So equation 1 is d is equal to 2n plus 4. Therefore d is equal to 2 multiply 7 plus 4. So d is equal to 14 plus 4. Therefore d is equal to 18. Therefore d is equal to 18. Now students, we have the numerator and denominator, value of numerator and value of denominator. So finally we say that fraction is equal to n upon d. That means 7 upon 18. Fraction is equal to 7 upon 18. Okay students, example 5. Two types of boxes A, B are to be placed in a truck having the capacity of 10 tons. When 150 boxes of type A and 100 boxes of type B are loaded in the truck, it weighs 10 tons. But when 260 boxes of type A are loaded in the truck, it will still accommodate 40 boxes of type B. So that it is full loaded. Find the weight of each type of box. So now here students, we have to find out the weight of the type A box and the weight of the type B box. So this is our assumption part. So here we say that let x be the weight of the type of box A. X be the weight of the type of box A, and y be the weight of the type of box B. Then as per the given condition, when 150 boxes of type A, so here I say by first condition, 150 boxes of type A, that means weight will be 150x, and 100 boxes of type B are loaded in the truck, it weighs 10 tons. So and means addition, 100 boxes, weight of 100 boxes will be 100y, and that will be weight 10 ton. So now here 10 ton, so that means here we multiply this 10 by 1000, because here 1 ton is equal to 1000 kilogram, and that's why 10 ton is equal to 10,000 kilogram. So here I write multiply 10 by 1000. So now here it becomes 150x plus 100y is equal to 10,000. So I write 150x plus 100y is equal to 10,000. Now here this equation, we have this equation, but we can simplify this equation further. So here dividing 10 not. So here dividing both the sides by 50. When we say that dividing both the sides by 50, x upon 50 plus 100y upon 50 is equal to 10,000 upon 50. So here the cancellation part is that, students, the cancellation part is that 0 0 get cancelled, so 5 1s are 5, 5 3s are 50. So 0 0 get cancelled, 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10. Then here 0 get cancelled, 5 1s are 5, 5 2s are 10, and 1 200. So finally we have the first equation, students, and that first equation is 3x plus 2y is equal to 200. So we call this equation as first one equation. Then here next part is that the second condition, get the equation from the second condition. Second condition says that when 260 boxes of type A, so 260x plus, and that 40 boxes of type B. So here 40y, and that, so it is fully loaded. So it will be 10,000. That is 10,000 kilogram. So here further we simplify this equation. So dividing both the sides by 20. So here 260x divided by 20 plus 48y divided by 20 is equal to 10,000 divided by 20. So now here the cancellation part, here 0 0 get cancelled, 2 1s are 2 3s are 6. Here 0 0 get cancelled, then 2 1s are 2 2s are 4. Then here 0 0 get cancelled, 2 1s are 2 5s are 10, 0 0. So the finally we have the second equation, 13x plus 2y is equal to 500. So here this is the second equation. So we write it as, call it as the second equation. Now here students, we have the two equations, and we how to solve these two equations with any method, but I here use the elimination method, because here is 2y, here is also 2y. So subtracting equation 1 and 2. So I insert here subtracting equations 1 and 2. Therefore 3x plus 2y is equal to 200 minus 13x plus 2y is equal to 500. So now here changing the sign here, so minus 13 minus plus 2, and here minus. So 3 minus 13 minus 10x plus 2y minus 2y 0 is equal to 200 minus 500, that is minus 300. Therefore minus 10x is equal to minus 300. So 10x is equal to 300. Therefore x is equal to 300 upon 10. Therefore x is equal to 3. Okay, this 0, 0 will cancel. X is equal to 30. Okay, then put this value in equation 1. So here I say that put this value in equation 1. So equation 1 is 3x plus 2y is equal to 200. Therefore 3 multiply 30 plus 2y is equal to 200. Therefore here 90 plus 2y is equal to 200. Therefore 2y is equal to 200 minus 90. Therefore 2y is equal to 110. So y is equal to 110 upon 2. So y is equal to 55. Y is equal to 55. So now here students, finally we have both the value of the variable. So that means here we have the, we finally write down here the, here x means 30 now. So the weight of, therefore the weight of the type of box A is equal to 30 kilogram, and the weight of the type of box B is equal to 55 kg. So this is our final answer. Example 6. Out of 1900 km, we shall travel some distance by bus and some by aeroplane. Bus travels with average speed 60 km per hour and the average speed of aeroplane is 700 km per hour. It takes 5 hours to complete the journey. Find the distance we shall travel by bus. Okay. So now here students, while reading that, we understand that we shall travel by bus as well as the aeroplane, but the distance to but the time to cover the distance is different. Okay, so that's why here we first assumption that here we have to find out the distance that we shall travel by bus. So here first we have to assume that here let x be the distance, we shall travel by bus, that traveled by bus, and here we say y be the distance that traveled by aeroplane, Okay, so now here as per the given condition in the example we get the equation. So first here we say that out of 900 kilometer there is a distance 900 kilometer, we shall travel by some distance by bus, some distance by aeroplane. That means this is the first sentence of the example, and which is nothing but the first condition. So here we say by the first condition, so by the first condition we say that the distance traveled by bus and the distance traveled by aeroplane, that is x plus y, is equal to 1900 kilometer, and call it as the first one equation. Now next one, that is the second sentence, that means second equation condition, and that means we can get the second equation. So the second statement says that the bus travels with average speed, that average speed is 60 km per hour, and the speed of aeroplane, that is 700 km per hour. So that means here, and the journey complete in 5 hours. So the time here mention the time, okay, in this example. So that's why we know that by the given condition we say by the second condition. So here second condition, there is a time required, and that is 5 hours. So now that we make that time is equal to distance upon speed. Okay, we know this formula. Okay, student. So that time required for the bus, that will be here for bus. Okay, I mentioned here for bus. The time will be average speed, that is a 60 km per hour, and here the distance, that distance is the x. Okay, that bus, by the bus. So x upon 60, and for aeroplane, the time required will be, distance will be y, and the speed, that speed is 700 km per hour. So here I mention here 700. So here time for the bus is equal to x upon 60 and time for aeroplane that is equal to y upon 700. Now here students that combiningly that it complete the journey in 5 hours. So that means we say that x upon 60 plus y upon 700 is equal to 5 hours. So now here students, this is nothing but our second equation, but it is in a complex form. So we simplify further and then call it as the second equation. So now here I do the cross multiplication here students. So now here cross multiplication 700x plus 60y upon 60 multiplied 700 is equal to 5. Therefore 700x plus 60y, that here I write here directly 5 multiplied 60 multiplied 700, and that means 700x plus 60y is equal to. Now here students, this equation can be simplified as you dividing both the sides by 20. Okay, both the sides by 20. As you divided by 10, then of course we later divided by 2 also. So further we say we dividing both the sides by 20. So here I say that dividing both the sides by 20. So here 700x upon 20 plus 60y upon 20 is equal to 5 multiply 60 multiply 700 divided by 20. Then here cancellation part is students, that cancellation is that 0 get cancelled, then 2 ones are 2 and 2 35 70. So here 0 get cancelled, 2 ones are 2 and here 2 threes are 6. Then here 0 get cancelled, here 2 ones are 2, 2 threes are 6. So the remaining numbers are 35x plus 3y is equal to, here 5 threes are 15, 15 sevens are 105 and the 2 zeros. So this is the final equation. So we can call it as the second one equation. Now here we have two equations. So we are going to solve these two equations by the substitution method. I choose the substitution method. So that's why I write the first equation here. X plus y is equal to 1900. Therefore, y is equal to 1900 minus x, and call it as the third one equation. Now next one, that put this value in equation 2. So first I write down the equation to 35x plus 3y is equal to 10,500. Therefore 35x plus 3 multiply 1900 minus x is equal to 10,500. Therefore 35x plus 5,700 minus 3x is equal to 10,500. Therefore 35x minus 3x, that is equal to 32x. So here 32x is equal to 10,500. Here I write down that 32x plus 5,700 is equal to 10,500. Therefore 32x is equal to 10,500 minus 5,700. Therefore 32x is equal to, here 0 0 and then here 8 and here 10 minus 5, that is 4. So x is equal to 4,800 divided by 32. Then cancellation, we simplify this ratio. Here 16 2s are 32, 16 3s are 48, so here 300. Now here again we simplify this 300 divided by 2. So here 2 ones are 2, 2 ones are 1, 2 5s are 10, 0. So 150. So here we write x is equal to 150. Okay, and this is the distance. That is the distance traveled by bus. Okay, and that is our question. So here there is no need to calculate the value of y, because here we ask the distance traveled by bus only. So here finally I write down the distance traveled by bus is equal to 150 kilometer. Okay student, so such a way we solve this equation and we completed this practice set. So now students, these are very easy, or we say easiest method to understand. So that's why you practice this method. Okay, and here students, if you like our content, then subscribe our channel and share this video to your friends.